Hey, this is David, and welcome to the Shepherd Revolution podcast. I'm so excited. We're continuing our series, Teaching to Change Lives. My next guest founded Lowell Chapter of the National Society of Black Engineers in 1978, commissioned officer in the U.S. Air Force, was part of the mission control team to launch the first GPS in 2003, graduated from the Leadership Pikes Peak organization, founder of Surge365 Global Expansion Team, and founder of the Better World Changers, whose goal is to impact communities, culture, and the world by connecting people to God in the marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest, Rick. So, Rick,
it is good to be here. I want to meet that guy you're talking about.
Yeah,
introduce me to him.
that guy is looking right back at that guy, right? So tell me, you were a leader from the beginning, right? Starting back in 78 and even to this very moment. What was the path that led you to leadership?
Most leaders, as you know, stumble into it and accept the responsibility. And that's what happened in college, even with founding the Society of Black Engineers. One of the graduating seniors said, "Hey, Rick, will you do this?" I'm like, no. Is there money? Is there chicks? Is there what's in it for me? And I was going to let a friend of mine actually take the lead on it. And then we were just sitting down and we over a couple of beers. I don't drink anymore, but over a couple of beers and other stuff, we said, you know what? This may be a nice way to do, outreach. Reaching out to not only the school but to the girls and everything else. And we came up with the slogan, "Engineering is for lovers." And then when I saw the guy the next day, we said, "Yeah, we'll do it." And I was trying to push my friend to be the founder, leader, president, and he says, "No, Rick, it's yours." And
Wow.
What's interesting is I accepted that responsibility. We did job fairs and everything for the school, and it opened my eyes to the need of our communities. We did outreach in the communities, and I was stuck. And I still work as hard as I did back then. I still work today just as hard. So, but that's what got me into it. And most leaders will tell you they kind of stumbled into it and had to make a decision. Do I want to accept this responsibility? And I said, I'm in. And I've been getting involved in everything. I don't turn down volunteer opportunities. I get involved in everything. Of course, that's changed now that I'm older, but I learned so much through volunteering. And the one who volunteers is the one who knows. But that's how I got started. And that has been my path ever since. And actually started before then, but it's only a 15-minute podcast. But I actually built a clubhouse, a 2-story clubhouse for the gang. And I was about 15 years old. And we stole all the wood. But we had a 2-story, 2 floors, a clubhouse. And I came up with the design and all of that. So, of course, now we're going to be building 6 community centers. So I was looking at that as an experience. And so that has been a vision that has been driving me without even me knowing. That's one of the neat things about it. Your vision will actually drive you, and you're in the passenger seat.
You said 2 powerful things about leadership. You talked about accepting the responsibility, and you talked about vision. Can you tell us a little bit about both of those things? What does it mean to accept responsibility, and what does it mean to have vision as a leader?
Accepting responsibility is knowing. Because once you thrust yourself in the midst of something, or you see something, whether it be in your community, whether it be on the news, whether it be something you feel, whether it be just living, for leaders, something special pops up and they can see something different than other people looking at the same thing. And they have a choice to say, okay, do I want to get involved? And something about the things that you see, it rings a chord in your heart where you know that it's tapping into that emotion where you say somebody ought to do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out more often than not that somebody is you, because you can only see what you're supposed to change. And when you can see it and you can feel it, you actually have the answer to change it. And as far as vision, vision is an interesting thing, because you have to see beyond the horizon. And that's one of the things about education that is so important when we talk about teaching kids, is that do they have a vision? It's my job to see and pull out purpose and vision out of them, because that will trigger their desire to actually do something and get involved and to see their future. And so vision is so important. As we know, without a vision, people perish.
Yeah.
And it's true. And the current education system generally does not instill vision. They're just kind of pumping out workers. But no, education is understanding and being able to bring someone to the place of personal understanding and awareness. And so vision is critically important, because without vision, we perish.
Vision, and you said it so well, as far as what you see was meant for you to see, and I'm paraphrasing it. Expand out a little bit more, because one could think, okay, is this a God vision? Is this a personal vision? Is it a vision that was placed on me? Because people could say, hey, I see you being a doctor, right? They're placing vision on us, but what does it mean to actually see? Can you expand on that a little bit more?
The most important thing is feeling. You can see it, you can feel it. If you can feel it, it's going deeper, because you actually are seeing, not with your eyes, but you're actually seeing with your heart. And when you can see it through the eyes of your heart, no matter what anybody tells you you are to be, it will either strike that chord or not. And if it doesn't strike that chord, you've got a person who's pretending to be involved. But when it strikes that chord, that gift, wakes up. That's on the inside of the person. When it's something that they can actually see through the eyes of their heart, that gift, the thing they do better than anybody else without even trying. Like what I'm doing now, I've always done. I've always been the way I am now. And but circumstances and assuming and accepting the responsibility has drawn out the gifts to match it, to do it, to make it happen. And that's what has come alive in me even now. And that's where the perseverance comes in, through all the ups and the downs. When it strikes that chord, and you can see that vision for yourself through the eyes of your heart, and that it wakes up and stirs that gift that's inside of you, that purpose to actually accomplish it, it's game on from there.
That's you said it. You literally shifted my paradigm when you said that, because oftentimes I've learned that you're supposed to find your gifts and then eventually find your vision. But what you're kind of saying, and I might be wrong, but what you're saying is find your vision first, and then through your vision, the gifts are awakened.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. If I had said that myself.
You said it. I just it. That's how it formulated in my head. Find your vision first, and then your giftings will come.
Your vision will awaken your gifts to accomplish, because your gifts are there to accomplish that vision. And one can't be there without the other. But when you have that vision, because your real world is in your imagination, not your current situation. When you begin to understand that the dream that you have is the real world that you're walking to fulfill. Now, once you understand that, all the gifts, everything that you need is already there, awaiting your recognition. So as you have that gift, it awakens everything inside of you, all the tools, all the people, all the skills, all the talents, everything that you need, you begin to see. Otherwise, you cannot see it. It walks right by you, walk right over it, step on it, pull it up, throw it away. You can't see it. So if we can awaken the dream, and the vision in our students, in our young people, and adults. It gives purpose and meaning to life. And they begin to realize that everything falls in place. So like everything that you need to accomplish your mission here on earth is already present in your life, awaiting your recognition. And the first one is, what is that vision? What is that purpose? Why am I here? And if we can sit down with kids and say, okay, what is that dream that reoccurring dream that you've always had? If there was nothing stopping you, what would that be? What would you do? And pull that out and tie that to education, which is training, versus education, which is understanding.
Yeah.
To understand.
Yeah. So tell me this. Like as you're expanding on the vision, when you think about it, right? The vision, the gifting. What does teaching to change lives mean to you? Right? If you could summarize that, what would that be?
That is helping. First of all, I didn't understand what that was as a term. Explain to me real quick what that is as a term.
Teaching to change lives?
Yes. What does that mean to you for a moment?
What does that mean to me?
Yes.
Well, it definitely means teaching in a way that impacts the lives that the people are being served. So when I think of a student, there's a couple of things that happens in a student's life. They're sitting under they're sitting under the feet of a teacher, looking to understand. It's just equivalent to a baby and a parent. A mother mothers and nurtures their child in a way to transform their lives so that they can move from codependent, they can move from dependent to independent. That's essentially moving somebody from a consumer to a contributor into our world. So that's what teaching to change lives mean to me.
Okay, so teaching to change lives to me means the first step is to empower. How is one empowered? Like, you cannot stop me because I'm driven by a purpose that's bigger than me. And if I can trigger in a child, in a student, and even in an adult, that dream, and you'll know that you hit it when their eyes light up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't know how much you know, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
But once I hit that sweet spot of that vision and that dream, I'm going to be a basketball player, I'm going to be a scientist, I'm going to be that thing on the inside that's always been there in school. Imagine that, in a school setting.
Mm-hmm.
And we touch and we take time with each kid to identify that, and then we take it a step further to identify and to associate a purpose with that. We associate a gift, what are your natural giftings, and even walking them through exercises for each of these, to identify what do you do the best than anybody else, and you always have, and then taking that and adding your goals and desires and fleshing out those goals and desires, and then overlaying on that affirmations to affirm what we just came up with in a way that they see it, they feel it, they believe it, and they know they can achieve it. Oh, you created a student that has total understanding, power, and motivation to move forward. Now we can add the education, quote unquote, training piece for the skills and all that stuff. We do it backwards. We give them all the skills. They're like, I don't even want to know. What are you talking about? But we've got to awaken them first so that everything they see can be seen through the eyes of their heart, which is their vision and their purpose.
That's powerful. And that's the great way to summarize all of this and then definitely come to its head. And Rick, I just want to thank you so much for joining us on the series Teaching to Change Life. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. This is what I do for kids and adults.
I want you all to know to be the solution to the education evolution. Thank you so much.